Welcome to GCTV and welcome to the build-up to tonight's Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix of Monaco, the 10th Grand Prix of the season, as we move further and further down the calendar, further and further into the season and closer towards the GC playoffs and the Super Grand Prix that will be taking place in Prague later on this year. There are championship points up for grabs, there is a golden ticket up for grabs, and arguably some bragging rights and history up for grabs as always. So stay with us here on GCTV throughout the rest of the night as we head to Port Hercule. Get ready for tonight's Lgct Grand Prix and start to unpack the stories that will talk about how tonight's Grand Prix is going to unfold. We have given away 9 golden tickets to the Lgct Super Grand Prix already this season. Tonight we will hand out a 10th. And which of tonight's top riders who have qualified for the Grand Prix will join the 9 winners already this season? Let's remind you as to who will be at the Super Grand Prix.
This season starts here in Doha. Ludger Beerbaum and Mila. He wants to win this Grand Prix. Good stride over the wall. Oh, he's 0.3 of a second faster. Could you believe that? Ludger Beerbaum for the win here. What's it gonna be? It's a win for Ludger Beerbaum. Unbelievable. On Mila, on a 10-year-old, Ludger Beerbaum wins the Grand Prix of Doha.
Kathleen Eckermann with Calamandia. There is something special between these two. She could win this Grand Prix, ladies and gentlemen. Here comes Kathleen Eckermann. She's got everything in hand. Everything in hand. It's a little bit sticky. Kathleen Eckermann wins the Grand Prix by little beats, by more than a second. Unbelievable. On a 9-year-old. Calamandia. Never seen before.
Here's Dennis Lynch on Brooklyn Heights. There's Dennis Lynch and he's clear. 44.56 seconds. Is Beerbaum going to score a second win after 3 stages already? Oh, what a nice rollback from Ludger Beerbaum. He's going to get it. Here comes Beerbaum. He's going to win it. He's going to win it. It is by 500th. By 500th of a second. That does mean that Dennis Lynch is going to Prague as Beerbaum wins now his second Grand Prix. The Grand Prix of Madrid with 10 riders qualified with Derek Kenny on his superstar horse. Derek Kenny does it with 39.91 seconds. Zanotelli has to make it happen now. 39.91. Zanotelli or Kenny. Who is it going to be? And in the end, it's the exact same time. Can you believe that? There's a lot depending on Sanne with Konkidam RB. And now risking it all on this super fast horse, this superstar, Konkidam and Sanne for 39.91. She has not win it. She won it. She wins it. There's Sanne. It's magic. It's unbelievable. It's Dutch and she wins. Sanne. What has Smulders plan? Smulders now returns to Saint-Tropez to claim back what he lost in 2021. Is it the lead? Is it the lead? It is the lead. 26 seconds or 0.26 up on the clock with another 5 still to go. Marley Bayer-Johnson on H&M Indiana. This is very tight. And here's the finish for Johnson. And she's ahead. She has to be ahead. Big win for Marlene Bayer-Johnson and H&M Indiana. They go to Prague. Marlene Bayer-Johnson proving unbeatable. Alman can dominate. Oh, that's difficult. Jumps over the flowers and then nearly drifted out of that line. And now Alman has to push. Alman has to push on Dominator 2000Z. Can he dominate in Hamburg? Alman is on top of the world at this moment. But the title, the King of Cannes, will be decided now with the first man coming in. Bingo Saint-Hermel and Daniel Duyse in this jump-off. does go for the 6 in here. And now Doyce nearly speeding up, finding that 6th gear on Bingo Santamel. Finds the first distance on the very long gallop. Wow, what a finish from Daniel Doyce. Fernando Martinez Sommer from Mexico. Can he make this tight? It's actually not bad. And now he speeds up, but he's going to get there too late. This is going to be a win for Daniel Doyce and Bingo Santamel, as Fernando Martinez Sommer has the last fence down. And Daniel Doyce wins the Grand Prix in Cannes. After 4 times missing out on the big trophy, it is now a win for Daniel Doyce. After this Grand Prix, we will be halfway. And something tells everybody that this season, it could just be Alman's season. Come on, Christian, for the second one. All in. Go, 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 go. Keep going, keep going, keep going. For 35, hit 7. Here is Alman. It is good. What a tremendous round from Christian Alman. Here comes Hendrik van Eckermann. 35.69 is to beat. There is no room for error at all. Here comes King Edward with Hendrik van Eckermann to grab what they deserve. Maybe the winner is Stockholm in front of the home crowd. Down to the wire, down to the edge. It is slower, and it's Christian Alman who wins his second Grand Prix of the season. And he will have to settle for second place. The good news is that Hendrik van Eckermann, with the win of Christian Alman, will go to Prague, as the golden ticket goes to Hendrik and to King Edward. This is Marlon Modolo Zanotelli. 37.55 is to beat the time of Lily Atwood. This has to be tighter here around that turn. Oh, maneuverable, leaves it standing. That does break his rhythm. It is now all in his hands after finishing second on 3 occasions already. There's Zanotelli. It is the first one ever in his career, and he finally does it.
Those are your winners of the prestigious Lgct Golden Tickets in 2022. Which of these riders for today's Lgct Grand Prix is going to put their name on the list? Who of these riders will be the 10th rider of the season to qualify for the Lgct Super Grand Prix? We will find out. Let's show you how the championship looks at this point. Here is a look at the top 8. And following his victory in last week's Grand Prix in Paris, Marlon Zanotelli moves up inside the top 8. Christian Koekoek and Niels Bruynseels in 7 and 6. And Spencer Smith, in real top form this season, has really improved over the last 12 to 18 months. Inside the top 5, there will be no Gilles Thomas today. We'll explain that in a few moments' time. But Pieter de Vos and Momstupi de la Roque have qualified for the Grand Prix. And today will be a golden opportunity for Pieter de Vos to try and close that gap and make up ground on Ben Meyer and Christian Alman in 2nd and 1st. Now, as far as Gilles Thomas is concerned, he had a very difficult and poor Global Champions League 2nd round for Valkenswaard United. And the young Belgian had multiple jumping faults that led him to 12 penalties. And unfortunately for the young Belgian, those 12 penalties were not enough to help Valkenswaard United, by the way, get closer to the podium, nor was it enough to see him qualify for the Grand Prix today, which would have been a lovely opportunity for him to continue earning championship points to try and keep pressure on some of the senior men above him in the standings. So, no Gilles Thomas tonight, but Pieter de Vos is there. We'll talk about who is and who isn't in a few moments' time. Now, Geert Gillickson, firstly, is a fantastic guy. Secondly, made history last week, and that was personal history for Geert Gillickson, qualifying for his first ever Lgct Grand Prix jump-off. And after getting into last week's jump-off, I can confirm that he has indeed qualified for today's Grand Prix, by the way. We'll be jumping Grandino, Will the veteran. Last week's Grand Prix in Paris actually perhaps should be described as the Veterans Grand Prix. But Geert, making history for his personal record, qualifying for the first ever jump-off in his career, has now qualified for today's Grand Prix. And we sat down with the Scandinavian Vikings owner for and with the Lgct jump-off contender in Paris to find out how the weekend went.
Yeah, Paris was the first time I've been to most shows in the whole world, but Paris I've never been to, and then I was first to go in the Grand Prix, and I jumped clear, I also jumped fantastic, and yeah, it was a great feeling.
74 seconds time allowed. Here comes Geer with just a handful of seconds to go. Adds a stride, goes for 6 instead of 5 and books the first ever clear in his career on the Longines Global Champions Tour. Geer Gulliksen with Equine America, Grandino, and look at it, he is enjoying it. Never before in the 62 years of his life did he jump a clear round in a Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix.
But then it took a long time before the next one, and the next one became with John Whittaker, 67. So it looks like a class for people over 60. And the third one was Eric van der Vleuten, and he's 59. So the first 3 clears was 62, 67, 59. So, and then I said to John, I said, but the worst thing is nowadays, there's going to come a couple of young ones and they're going to beat us, I says, which was true. But no, so that was great, you know, and my horse jumped also great in the jump off. It was a bit unlucky. He slipped after number 2 and after the double, so I probably couldn't have won it, but if I had like a good there, you know, I probably could have fighted for the 3rd place, you know.
Here's Geer Gulliksen and Grandino. It's 41.81, and that is the leading time at the moment. Geer Gulliksen jumps double clear in this Grand Prix in Paris.
Why did it take so long for you to reach a jump off?
You know, I've been a bit unlucky, you know, and I've jumped clear before and had time falls, you know, and these horses which I have, like this one is just a new one coming up. I brought him up, like took a year, you know, to bring up. This I think is a very good horse. Like Quattro is a super horse. I have actually my best years now. If you look 2, 3, 4 years back, you know, it's my best results, because that's before I always sold my horses. So I had many good horses, but I sold them, you know. Yeah. But it's also kept me doing my sport, you know, because I had the economy to do it. But now I'm a stage in life, I can afford to keep one horse and run it, you know.
Did Paris give you like a confidence boost?
Yeah, no, it's obvious, it's very nice when you feel the horse can jump it, and they jump it very easy, you know, like people come and say, oh, there was the best horse in the class. Of course, that gives me confidence. Like Olivier Robert, he comes to me yesterday and said he's one of the best horses in the world. You know, like when people think that, you know, like then you think, oh, I don't think like that, but you know, like it's nice, you know, to have a horse like this, you know. But I've been in the horse world for so many years, and I know it doesn't go straight up. If you go clear today, doesn't mean you go clear. Now clear, 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 clear. So it goes up and downs, you know, and but you have to live with that and just try to do the best.
A wonderful story for Geer Gulliksen and Grandino making their way into the jump-off last week. And they have qualified for tonight's Grand Prix. They'll be 14th out the gates. Will the 62-year-old, can he make it 2 for 2? We will find out. Now, Frederik de Backer standing by for us back inside the Monaco arena. Frederik de Backer, just hearing from Geer Gulliksen and the what he classified as the seniors jump-off from Paris. I wonder if it might be the same tonight. Let's talk about who is in, and perhaps more importantly, let's start with who is not there today and what bearing does that have on the championship?
Well, you're referring to Ben Meer and Christian Aalman. The number 1 and the number 2 of the championship are not present in Monaco. They have other duties, other events to attend. So they, you could say that they cannot defend their championship position. The good news is they don't have to defend it because they have got enough margin, they got enough lead on number 3 and 4 and 5 of the championship to sit this stage out. That does mean that they are home dry and clear. No, not at all. It's Peter de Vos who is 3rd in the championship, and he can now claim valuable points on that championship standing, trying to move up into, he'll stay into 3rd, but trying to close the gap on Ben Meer and on Christian Aalman and make that last 3rd of this Longines Global Champions Tour season extra exciting. And who knows who else comes up through the ranks with Ben Meer and Aalman not here, so they will not extend their position, they will not add championship points to their total, but it's mainly de Vos that will put them under pressure in this stage here in Monte Carlo.
And we also saw a few moments ago, we look back at the Global Champions League and the disappointing performance from Gilles Thomas. It means that he doesn't qualify for the Grand Prix, so the young Belgian fails to cash in on a good opportunity today as well. But there was another moment with Peter de Vos taking a real blow right into the neck of Momstupi de la Roque. Do we know if he is going to be okay? Will he jump today? Do you have any medical update, Dr. de Backer, as to how Peter de Vos is doing?
Well, with my X-ray eyes, no. I've spoken to Peter de Vos. I'm just trying to look around if I can find him. He's actually there. We're going to move over and catch up with him. He thinks the nose is broken.
Wow.
He thinks the nose is broken, and he's coming our way now, so we'll chat with him in a minute. He's coming over my left, later right shoulder. He thinks it's broken. We'll tell him how it feels and what happened, actually. De Vos, number 3 on the championship. Peter, I know you're in a rush, but do tell me, what happened?
Sorry, what happened?
What happened?
A lot of pain on my nose.
But what happened in the round itself?
Yeah, I don't know. My horse was jumping very well and everything went like planned. And then I had to turn in front of number 2 after the double. And she actually got number 2 in her eye, and she wanted to jump number 2. And then I had to be a little bit. I had to turn her away from number 2, and she reacted on that, and she gave me with a head a smash in my face. But it was really quite hard. And yeah.
Do you remember how you jumped the last 2 fences?
Not really. The only thing I was thinking was to finish, but I had a little bit of a blackout, so I don't know anymore how I jumped the last fences.
You are a very good-looking fellow, but
now it's a bit worse. Huh?
Yeah. What do you think?
What I think?
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, but it looks quite swollen, your nose. I don't want to keep looking at your nose, but it is swollen.
Maybe we better put the camera off my nose, but I think it might be broken, to be honest. That's my feeling. Yeah.
Okay. How's the pain?
Pain is not. Yeah. It's not okay, but okay. I'm gonna give it a try. I didn't do the round for nothing, so we're gonna give it a try.
All right, we're gonna let you go. He's number 3 on the championship. Peter de Vos. Well, it might be a broken nose for him, Mark. Not so good looking as he normally is.
He is a handsome man, as you pointed out. Will be 12th out the gate today, Momstupi de la Rock and Peter de Vos. And it just makes you wonder the toughness of Peter de Vos to come out today, despite taking that blow. He will jump the Grand Prix. And as he almost in a very light manner says, what was the point of jumping the round? I need to go to the Grand Prix anyway. So Peter de Vos will be out despite a suspected broken nose. Does that keep him in contention, Frederick? Is it fair to say that if he doesn't succeed today, we can blame it on the nose? I know he's just left us, but we've spoken before about riders riding through pain and injury, but this will be a very difficult night for Peter de Vos, no?
It will be difficult. It will be difficult to get into the zone, you know, to concentrate, to focus. But in the end, he has to do it here for 70 seconds. And I do think that all the way in the build-up to his round, he will feel the pain and he will feel that pounding feeling in your head, you know, when I think if it's in a broken nose. But he will feel that pounding pain in his head once he comes into this ring. I don't think he'll feel any of it, and he'll be riding on adrenaline. But all the way for the next hour until he comes in, this is not a perfect preparation. We don't have to laugh about it. This is far from perfect. On the contrary, also with the horse, of course. How did she take that turn in the end? He had to be quite strong with his hand. She felt a little bit of a shake-up. She had the fault then on the plank. It will also not have been perfect for Momstupi de la Rock.
Absolutely, it's a good point that you make as well. How will Momstupi de la Rock, then the 15-year-old, be feeling as well? Frederick, the start list has a couple of former winners in it as well, and I wonder if those former winners might find themselves with potential stars next to their names from Mr. De Backer, because success in this ground will give them valuable experience. Are you able to take us through who has had success here in the past and who we could maybe be looking at because of that?
Former winner of last year, Derek Kenny, not on Idalville d'Esprit, but on Volnay de Bois de Ville. Horse jumped a very safe and very good second round to qualify for this Grand Prix. He's got at least 2 stars next to his name. There was also Michael van der Vleuten. Van der Vleuten, who won here on Beauville, is now riding Lgct. Lgct is a young mare, hasn't jumped these big Grand Prix, and especially not in such a difficult arena. You can't put 2 stars next to her name. Then there's Shane Breen with Z7 Ipswich, former winning combination. They know this ring very well. Breen knows how to handle Ipswich in this ring, but Ipswich has jumped a lot of rounds this week, and the question is he fit enough? And then there's Gaudiano, who came into this Grand Prix after qualifying over in the way of Henrik van Eckermann, and we don't want to disturb a Longines Global Champions Tour Super Grand Prix winner, so we make a ballet-like pirouette. Ipswich, that's where we were. Is he fit enough to jump another big Grand Prix here after going in round 1 and round 2 of GCL? And then there was Gaudiano, who qualifies on 8 faults on Chalou. Not the perfect round. He won here on Casper years ago. Though it's a very spectacular horse, I
I can't really give him 2 stars. But I think you're going to ask me who I gave 3 stars.
I always like to know who will get 3 stars, but I'll ask you just to hold for a second, because speaking of Shane Breen, we caught up with Shane Breen and got some reaction from him with regards to that 2018 victory. As he looks back, he has qualified for tonight's Grand Prix. He'll be 28th out the gate. Shane Breen looking back to 2018.
I suppose everywhere we go, we're always a little bit confident. Obviously, Ipswich in 2018, he really enjoyed himself here. And again, in 2019, I brought him back and I ended up having a time fault in the Grand Prix. So that was a little bit annoying. So he's in good form. Yeah, I'm confident.
So you think if you don't do the time fault this time, you will be fine?
Listen, we can't predict the future, but he's in great shape. He's obviously a little bit older, hopefully wiser. Yeah, it's a tight arena. It's a little bit unique. And, you know, there's a great atmosphere here during the Grand Prix. It starts late in the evening. So I think the horses, they feel the atmosphere, and the more experienced ones, like Z7 Ipswich, they seem to rise to the atmosphere.
Wonderful opportunity for GCTV to sit down with Shane Breen. That will be the next episode of Way to the Top, the 2018 winner back in Monaco, now qualifying for tonight's Grand Prix. He'll be 28th out the gate. And can Shane Breen perhaps relive that magic? Z7 Ipswich and Shane Breen tonight looking to try and bring back some of that success of 2018. And we'll remind you again that that is Way to the Top, and you can check it out later on GCTV. So the big conversation now is around who then can make up some championship points. As we pointed out, there is no Christian Allman or Ben Mayer tonight, and Gilles Thomas failed to qualify for the Grand Prix after a difficult performance in the Global Champions League for Valkenswaard United. It means that Pieter de Vos and Momstupi de la Roque, who took a real blow to the face, in fact, might even be riding with a suspected broken nose tonight. Pieter de Vos has the opportunity to unfortunately not jump over, or at least overtake Ben Mayer or Christian Allman, but he can make up real championship points and try and close that gap. But how will he be able to perform? How will Momstupi de la Roque be able to perform? That is the big question as well. Back to Frederik de Backer we go in Monaco. Frederik, speaking of Derek Kenny, he, along with many riders, have been splitting their attention over what has proven to be a very busy weekend. I imagine that this can be quite costly in a Grand Prix. Surely you want 100% focus in a big LGCT Grand Prix like that. How are these riders going to be able to cope with splitting that attention?
We're going to have to see how that plays out at the end of the Grand Prix. If they underperform in the Grand Prix, we'll say, yeah, but what do you expect? You're traveling up and down. That doesn't make any sense. And if they win it, then we'll say, oh, what brilliant management. Very well done. It is very difficult to tell. We can only say that those that have traveled back and forth, that they have qualified for this Grand Prix. So far, it's all going really good for Derek Kenny. And for example, it was also Philipp Weishaupt, and it's also Max Kühner. So their travels have not hindered them in qualifying for this 10th Grand Prix of the season.
So now comes the big question for your 3 stars. Derek Kenny, the 2021 champion. Michael van der Vleuten, Henrik van Ackermann, both good in GCL. There's a lot of good GCL form in the start list. Where, sir, do you put your 3 stars tonight?
3 stars go to Angelica Augustsson-Zanotelli. I was surprised that she wasn't competing on the team. Madrid in motion, okay, there's reasons for that, but I do think the horse is in great form. I think the same of EIC Coriolis, of Max Kühner. That was a very strong performance. I've got an outside 3 stars for Victor Bettendorf, and then there's a few others that I do think might make an appearance. I'm a little bit of a fan of Fernando Martinez Sommer, and that would not surprise me if they would come out really strong. But I'm looking at those riders. I could be completely wrong, but they gave me a very good feeling in GCL round 2 in the qualifier.
All right, 27th out the gate. Angelica Augustsson-Zanotelli will be jumping on Kalinka today and potentially could be a real standout rider for tonight's LGCT Grand Prix in Monaco. Frederik de Backer, thank you for your time. One of the many language options in GCTV today. And no, you can go. You can go. We stopped you. Off you go to the commentary box. Off you go. Right, we'll let him go. You see, he's so eager, is Frederick, to get into that commentary box that midway through, he's ready to get back to work. Frederick de Backer will be one of the many language options available to you on GCTV tonight. Stand by. The 10th Lgct Grand Prix of the season comes your way in a few moments' time. Who is going to win the Grand Prix? Who will pick up tonight's golden ticket? You'll find out next here on GCTV.